All right, folks, so this is pretty crazy footage that should be disqualifying for Joe Biden in the race. So I've showed you guys a lot of clips where he'll just make up stuff, like talking about his record on Social Security or the Iraq War, and he'll just make stuff up. Like when it was the Iraq War, he was like, "Oh, dude, I opposed that right away. It was so bad. I think it was the New York Times or CNN or both of them had to come out and debunk him. Like, dude, you're literally lying out of your ass here. We have the facts. You were defending it like 2 years into the war. What are you talking about?" And then the same thing with Social Security, and to his face, he's like, "Oh," and it's like, what is happening to this dude's brain? Is he lying out of his ass, or is he demented? And that's the question that I still have, and we'll kind of delve into that a little bit here. But so there's another lie that has come up that should be disqualifying, as you guys all know, and I think this is what he's trying to match. Bernie Sanders was arrested during Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. While he was protesting, of course, and so it looks like he's trying to match that here. You guys all know Nelson Mandela and, South Africa's apartheid system, and so he's gonna claim that he got arrested while protesting to see Nelson Mandela. Check this out.
30 years ago, this day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbens Island. This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
So he claims he got arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela along with the UN ambassador, all right? And the New York Times wrote a piece on this. They literally wrote a debunking piece the other day. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. It's titled, "Biden Adds a Claim to His Biography and Arrest in South Africa." And so it totally got debunked by the New York Times, because basically what happened was the person, that UN ambassador who he said he was with when he got arrested, that person was actually, he was like, "No, that never happened." He just debunked it straight up. And then also, like, there was a search for news reports about it, and it was nothing came up because it didn't happen. I think someone can recall me on this. Hillary Clinton claimed that she evaded gunfire in a helicopter or some shit, like it was a movie, and she was like, she was like Tom Cruise or like Mark Wahlberg, just like going through it with a helicopter, getting fired at, and she's like, "Oh, this boss." People do, like, these politicians will just make up weird ass shit, dude. Like, I don't know what these people are thinking. Like, bro, seriously, dude? Like, and this is what makes Bernie Sanders so different from everybody else, okay, is that he doesn't have to lie about him protesting in favor of civil rights. Joe Biden has to do that. He just made up getting arrested to go visit Nelson Mandela in the dismantling of apartheid South Africa, So it's like, come on now, dude. This is embarrassing. And so I don't know how much of it I can chalk up to dementia, which is obvious. Okay, he literally has the same mental capacity as Donald Trump. He lies as much as Donald Trump. He makes up literally everything on the fly, just does whatever he wants, just says whatever he wants. I don't know how much of it is dementia or if he's always been a pathological liar. I generally don't know. I never gave Joe Biden much scrutiny prior to this because he just wasn't that relevant, to be quite frank with you. I don't know what's going on here, but this should be literally disqualifying. How do you lie? How do you lie about such a claim like getting arrested to go visit Nelson Mandela? Do you know how crazy that is? And then obviously it's very racially tinged, and so that's what makes it even worse. It's like, oh, you're trying to pander to black folks with a lie. Like, dude, are you kidding me? That's so unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's really embarrassing, to be quite frank with you. And I mean, wow, this is absolute insanity here, dude. But he's insane. But let me know what you think about this.